My name is John Munro, M-U-N-R-O.
And what is your birthday?
My birth date is the 22nd of the 3rd, 1934.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
22nd of March, which is the 3rd month, 1934.
1934.
Yep.
So you're very young.
Very young.
Yeah, 34.
I'm nearly 85.
85, right?
Yeah,
But average is more like 88, 89 now.
Yes, you're right, yes.
So 84-year-old. And where were you born?
Swan Hill,
Could you spell it?
S-W-A-N-H-I-L-L.
H
H-I-L-L.
I-O-O.
L.
So Swin Hill.
Swan Hill, H-I-L-L.
L, I'm sorry. Swin Hill.
Swan Hill.
Is it close from here?
It's about 300 odd k's up north.
Up north.
Okay. It's on the border of the Murray.
And tell me about your family background when you were growing up.
Oh, well, I was only a young boy at Tullybuck. And when Dad was joined up in the 1939-45 war.
Mm-hmm.
And he was, so I was only about a 8-year-old, I think, when Dad was called up. And he went to...
So you were in charge of the family chores?
Virtually, there was Mum and I and my sister, that's all.
What did you do?
I was waiting to go to school. My sister wasn't. My mum were living on a little farm.
So what kind of animal did you have at the time?
Oh, just a couple of cows and a horse.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't run any sheep or anything at that stage, no. Just... So, yeah.
How many siblings did you have?
Me, I had 7 after I got married.
No. At the time when you were growing up.
Yeah, this is after I came home from Korea and got out of the army. Yeah.
So tell me about the school you went through.
The Tullybuck State School. And then when Dad came home from the war, we sold up out of Tullybuck and went into Swan Hill. And I went to school there. And I left in the first form after when I was about 14 to help Dad on the farm.
Mm-hmm.
That was the farm in Swan Hill then. So we had a few sheep and cows and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I used to work for a Murray Valley Engineering and Transporting Company in Swan Hill. They ran a tourist bureau on buses and things like that. And then I got called up for national service in 1952.
1952.
Yeah, I got called up for national service.
So you were actually drafted?
Yeah, I got called up.
Called up?
Yeah, I was in that time bracket.
So you didn't volunteer, right?
No, not then. So anyhow, I did me 3 months at Puckapunyal, and then I did 12 months with the CMF, and then I joined the Regular Army. And I went straight to, when I joined the Regular Army in 1953, and I was posted up to 4 Battalion in Sydney, Ingleburn, and then my first posting there after the training was straight over to Korea.
So what was your unit again?
The one in Sydney, the 4 Battalion.
4 Battalion.
Royal Australian Regiment.
RAR.
Yep.
And what was your specialty?
Just an infantryman.
Infantryman.
Yeah. Foot slugger, grunt, whatever you like to call us.
But before we're talking about the war, I want you to talk to me about your knowledge on Korea. Did you know at the time before you leave or when you graduate, did you graduate high school?
Only 1 year at high school.
Yeah.
That's when I left to go and help Dad on the farm.
Yeah, and did you know anything about Korea?
No.
You didn't know anything?
No.
Not at all?
None at all. The only time I found out about Korea is when I was doing my national service. The K-Force boys were training to go to Korea, and that's one of the things that swayed me after I got out of the CMF. I thought, I'll join up, and because they wouldn't take national service boys to Korea. So I joined the Regular Army, and there I went. I was 19 when I got sent over. And of course the ceasefire had been signed by then.
When did you arrive in Korea? From where?
In February 54,
54.
from Sydney.
You didn't go to Japan?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I went from Sydney to Japan.
Right.
Yeah. That's where we did the training, Haramura, and those places before we went to Korea. Yeah.
And where did you arrive in Korea?
Oh, that would have been about March, I think, March 54. Because we only did a short course. Yeah, it'd be March, April 54.
And where did you arrive? Incheon
Yeah,
or
we
Busan?
went from Japan to Busan by boat, and then by train from there up to Seoul, and then truck across to 3 Battalion.
And then you went to 3 Battalion.
Yeah.
How was it at the time? Where was it? 3 Battalion, where was it?
Oh, well,
Was it north of Injin River or?
No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was because. Yeah. I'm trying to think. It's a long time ago.
Right.
Actually, but anyhow, we arrived at 3 Battalion, and I was posted to A Company. And then, of course, we did patrolling. We did a lot of work on the Kansas line.
Kansas line.
Yeah, digging in completing the trenches and everything.
But at the time already war ended, right?
Yeah.
So what was your mission? What did you do actually?
Well, we were still on operational duties. We were still patrolling and doing all that sort of thing, you know. A lot of minefields. We were sort of checking out and all that sort of thing. A lot of features. We were up and down to make sure everything was safe. And a lot of patrolling. And then, of course, in October 54, when the 3 Battalion came home, I was posted over to A Company 1 Battalion. And that's where we built, 1 Battalion built the new battalion lines on the Injin River.
So you're still there in Korea?
Yeah.
So you went to 1st Battalion and you still serve in the Imjin River area?
Yeah, along the river, yeah, that's where we had you until 55, yeah, when I was posted back to Japan. I sat there for 3 months and then back to Australia. And I got posted back to 15 National Service Battalion. So there I did a driver's course, and anyhow, I thought I'd had enough of this, so I applied for discharge to go and help Dad and Mum. They'd bought a cafe and service station now. So my discharge was granted, and then after 3 months I'd had enough of this, so I joined the Army Reserve. And that was the 38th Battalion, the CMF unit.
So tell me about any particular kind of memory that you had during your service in Korea? Any dangerous moment? How was the situation there? Did you see North Koreans or Chinese?
Yes.
Tell me about those details.
Well, we had to spend a certain amount of time up in the DMZ. And that's when we had to put the military police uniforms on and go up. And I took my turn up in the tower to watch the boys across the road.
Who were there? North Koreans or Chinese?
North Koreans.
Not
yeah.
Chinese?
Well, I couldn't tell the difference from where we were, but there would have been. They would have been there somewhere. Anyhow, so we did a lot of times up there, and mainly patrolling, and as I said, quite a bit of time up in the DMZ. That was good. Very interesting because one stage when we were down doing a patrol along the boundary, along the 38th, there was a patrol on the other side went past, and this Scots bloke yelled out, "Why don't you come and join us, Aussie?" So I thought, no thanks, I'm staying this side. I found it very good, very interesting, because the country, you nearly froze in the wintertime, and you nearly sweated to nothing in the summer wet season. But I wasn't sorry when I left, because. But I enjoyed my time there. I met a lot of good blokes and made good friendships through the army life.
What friendship are you talking about? With your Aussie or other soldier from other country?
Oh, no, mainly. Oh, well, a couple of English blokes and a couple of Kiwis, but mainly our own blokes, because we were sort of stationed A company there, B company there, C company there, and we're all. The only time we sort of seen anybody else is when we went on leave into Japan, which was. That's when we got tied up with the Kiwis and the Canadians. Yes.
So, were there any serious battle between enemy but were there any skirmish or were there any dangerous moment?
No, not that we know of. Well, no, not really. No, we were on this side and they were on that side, and that's, but we were still walking around with a loaded rifle, like in the early '54. It wasn't until about July '55 when they sort of started to slow down and things became a lot more peaceful. Yeah, so I enjoyed me. Well, I can't say I enjoyed my time. It was hard work. We had to do a lot of work. It was an experience I'll never forget. And,
what are the things that you still remember? How was Korea there at the time? Had you been to other city other than Kansas line? No. So you didn't have a chance to look at any other part of Korea?
No. Not being an infantry soldier, probably been lucky enough to be a truck driver or something. We could have got into Seoul or somewhere like that. But the only time I seen Seoul was, apart from my trip up, was on the way back when we sent to Seoul to catch the train back to Busan. Yeah, but it was very interesting, and I'm not sorry I went in a lot of ways because I got a lot of knowledge out of it, and luckily since, I had to retire from the Army Reserve in 1981 when I was 47 because I'd got a commission then, and so lucky in 2010 and just last July, I had a trip back to Korea, and I cannot believe.
Tell me about it. What didn't you believe about it?
Well, the thing was, when I left, Seoul Station was virtually nothing.
Did you see that at the time?
Yeah.
Tell me, what did you see at the time in 1952 or 3?
55 it was.
5?
Yeah, and well, it was just a station there virtually and a couple of sheds. Although I must admit too, in my time at 1 battalion, I was posted down to Seoul. Sorry, I forgot about this.
Oh.
I was posted down to Seoul to have a day with the orphanage. And that was the salvos, so I went down for the day I was allocated 6 little orphans for the day, so I had to sit with them and eat with them, and that was the salvo and the Korean minister or whatever he was, and that was well worth the trip to see those kids and spend time with them and have a meal with them, eating Korean food the first time ever.
What did you think about when you see those orphans? What were you thinking?
Well, I was still only a bit of a boy myself, really, but the experience to see those kids and see how well they'd been looked after by the salvos. But I felt a lot because where were their parents? And when you go to an orphanage, it's not funny by any means. But anyhow, it was a good experience and one that I'll never forget. I've still got photos of those kids at home. Yeah, so yeah.
What about? So when did you go back to Korea?
2000.
2000.
2010.
Oh.
And 2018.
2018?
Yes.
Last year?
Yeah, I took my wife over.
Ah, very nice. And What did you think about this change?
Well, I was like the first time I went back in 2000 to think of what it was when I left. Virtually bare, hardly any buildings. Cities were just, but to go back and then see high-rise motels, hotels, streets, people everywhere, beautiful cars. And I couldn't believe it. And it was fantastic to see how well the Jew people had built up after that Korean War conflict. And that's why I wanted to go back again for the 60th.
70th, you mean?
Yeah.
70th.
The 50th was 2000, wasn't it?
Right. So, yes, 2000.
And
In
10.
2000, right.
Yeah.
When you left Korea, did you think that Korea would become like this today?
No.
Why not?
Well, I didn't really know you people, did I? Apart from, when I was with 1 battalion, we had a Korean sergeant stationed with us, trained with us. And I thought, well, when I left, I thought, God, what's going to happen to this country? Is it going to come up? Anyhow, you did, and I'm very proud of what you've done. And I was happy to go back, and I was happy to take my wife over there, and she loved it.
You can brag about it.
Yes, she loved it because she said, when a car wants to come in, she said, no one hassles, no one blows their horns, no one gets crook. They just let the other car come in on the way. And she really enjoyed it. So I did too. But
So think about this. Has Australia involved in any other country than Korea has produced such tangible and clear, visible outcome of rapid economic development and democratization? And we still don't talk about it, and people call it forgotten war.
Yep.
What do you think? Why?
Well, really, even when I came home from Korea, no one said, where's that? What are you doing over there? It was really, it was never talked about, it was never publicised. We went over, did our job and come home, went to another unit. It was never really, apart from us blokes that had been there and come home, and if we're in the same battalion, when we got home we talked about it. But the public, they didn't really know. I nearly punched a text. Oh, no, I shouldn't say that.
So what do you think we have to do to change the reality, forgottenness of the war?
Well, it's not so much now as it was earlier. It is becoming more and more prominent now. And I think we've got to think about that a little bit because of the Vietnam boys. When they came home, they started pushing for us as well. And they've done a lot of good for us. It's because we've, as an association, we've, in all the states, we've pushed out and we've advertised and got out and done things and got people to notice that we were there and we did fight for that country, and we're very proud of what we did.
So what if I say to you that I'm going to use this interview to make a textbook or curricular resources for the educator so that they can use it, so that basically students will listen from you? What do you think?
I'm quite happy about that. If I wasn't happy, I wouldn't be here. I'm quite happy about that.
Did you have any chance to work with other Korean people?
No.
No.
No. Only that sergeant that was spent time with us. He was a nice fella. Kim. I can't think of his surname, but Kim.
Kim.
Yeah, no, he's a good bloke. Yeah.
Any other message you didn't tell me, but you wanna share with me about your service?
No, not really. I don't think. I think I finished up doing 25 years all up with the regular Army Reserve. I got the Reserve Force decoration and the efficiency decoration, which was the Queen's. And just recently I was awarded with the OAM, the Australian Order of Metal.
Any other special message to the world about the war that you fought for, the Korean War. For the 70th anniversary, do you have any special message to the world about your experience? Tell me, don't be shy.
No, I think, look, I was very happy that I put my fist in the ointment, if you like to say, to go over there and help. And I think if the same thing happened again, we'd probably do it again. But no, I'm happy that we did our share. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's all right.
Thank you, John.
That's all right.
We are done.
We're done?
Yep. Oh, here.